TKR Video Central Contest Entry Parts 2 through 4. Hi, welcome to Garage Geek. So these are the parts of the contest where you have to go by year and the ending has to end in 3 somehow. Question 2 is, please show 3 albums from when you were 3 years old, and for me that would be 1971. So 3 albums I'm going to show you is 1, Kaleidoscope by Nancy Wilson. 2, Barbra Streisand, Stony End. Look, I got that one for 25 cents. And 3, Johnny Mathis, Love Story. Now, what's interesting is both these artists put out 2 albums in that year. Also, this was a little bit difficult, right? Because we don't normally store our albums by year. And so I really had to do some research for this one. Okay, 3 comics that were released in 1971. House of Secrets number 92, which is the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. This is a facsimile edition. Morbius, the Living Vampire. I believe this is his first appearance. And that is Amazing Spider-Man number 101. Again, a facsimile edition. An original, Fantastic Four number 115, which I have shown before. This one, as you can see, has a big crease right down the middle. There's a crease over here. But you know what? When you put it in Mylar, the defects kind of disappear. Well, it really looks like a nice comic. Now, for movies and books, I'm not going to show physical copies. So in 1971, The Exorcist was released as a book. Thanks to All Sorts of Words, I actually have that in my queue, and I will be listening to that one and reviewing that one soon. Maurice was released by E.M. Forster, and of course that one was actually written in 1913 or 1914, but it wasn't released until 1971 due to the controversial nature of the topic of the book. And finally, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax was released. For movies, we have French Connection, and of course that one was very controversial recently because of the edited versions that have been appearing on streaming services. Fiddler on the Roof, a movie I absolutely love, and another movie that I just love, especially I watched this over and over as a kid, was The Omega Man, starring Charlton Heston, and of course that is based on the very famous short story by Matheson entitled I Am Legend, made into so many different movies. The next request is to show 3 albums from when you were 13. And for me, that would be 1981. Phil Collins' solo album Face Value came out. I know I get a lot of flack for this, but I absolutely love this album. I'm going to get flack for this one too. Absolutely love Long Distance Voyager by the Moody Blues. Great art too. I probably won't get any flack for this, but Prince, Controversy. Comics, we have ROM number 18, guest starring the X-Men battling in snow. Cool cover. Marvel 2-in-1 number 81, The Thing and the Submariner, with that awesome MODOK. If you've seen the most recent Ant-Man movie, that character is in it, and it's pretty bad. And Dazzler number 1 was released. For books, we have the really important Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. This book, despite all the controversy to his career, this book was voted the best booker of the first 25 years. It's not my favorite booker, but it is certainly a great book. July's People by Nadine Gordimer. This is a great book too, but I haven't read it in a long time, so I need to revisit it. It's got this edition has a pretty cover too. And God, Emperor of Dune. I'm thinking of doing an overview of the Dune books in an upcoming video since I just finished the core 6 novels. For movies, I picked some personal favorites that I saw at the time. First one I saw at the movie theater, and that's Ghost Story. Now, there's a couple things, I don't think I've seen it since. Now, what I do remember about it is it had a bunch of older actors that were in the movie, which was interesting. Then I remember a man falls out of a window or is pushed out of a window, and in the theater, I was 13, remember. They showed his penis flapping as he fell, and I was kind of shocked by that because they don't normally show things like that in movies. Next would be The Howling, a great werewolf movie. Of course, The special effects are dated, but when I saw it as a kid, I thought it was so cool. And again, another special effects movie where the effects are dated, and that would be An American Werewolf in London. Okay, the final category in this kind of section, which is question number 4, is 3 albums from when you were 53. The final category in this section, which is part 4, is 3 albums from your last time with 3 in your age. Sorry, something like that. So I was 53 years old in 2021. However, I usually don't buy new music on vinyl or CD. I do have some albums. So I found one from 2020. I found another one from 2022. I was going through all my albums, but it was taking so much time. I was doing some research online, like when albums came out, and I just had to give up because it was taking so long and I couldn't find anything. I just always buy older albums, and of course I buy things that are used, but I don't put them in order by date. So this might disqualify me, but I came up with nothing for this category. I really tried. So I'm going to move on to comics. So in 2021, this series was ongoing, but I believe in 2021 this came out, and that's when I read it. This series is excellent, and I'm really waiting for the next part of this to come out. Highly, highly recommended. That's Ice Cream Man from Image Comics. Another one that came out in 2021 is Monsters by Barry Windsor Smith. Now this is, I believe, something that he worked on for a really long time. It was originally supposed to be a Hulk story, and I did start it. I think I got about 1/4 of the way. I put it down for some reason, not because it was bad. It's excellent, but now I definitely have to finish it. Ew, it's got a little stain right there on the cover. What's that about? And finally, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil run started in 2021, I believe. And so not only is this an amazing run, but the cover artist on this was phenomenal. I actually collected all the covers from this run just because of the art. Okay, books. Here are 3 books that I read that were published in 2021. Great Circle. I really loved the interplay of the present and the past to tell a story about aviation. After Parties, which I recently reviewed. There's a little bit of tragedy around this book about, a minority community in the United States, especially with like drug abuse. And then my favorite author put out a book, which is Clara and the Sun. That would be Kazuo Ishiguro. Some movies that I really liked that came out in 2021 was Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, some people really dislike what he does. I have loved many of his movies and at least really liked the other ones. Black Phone was a very interesting kind of psychological serial killer movie that I think went in kind of bold directions. And finally, another interesting type cop procedural serial killer type movie was The Little Things. There are my parts 2, 3, and 4 to TKR Video Central's 3rd contest to celebrate his 3 years in the vinyl community. As always, thank you for the support, and any comments greatly appreciated.